Welcome to Yep Yeah Yes with Marissa and Tamika. On today's show, we're talking about sensitivity, the other bad word. Not to be confused with the F word, or the other S word, or the MF word.
The A word.
The A word, the AH word, the B word, but sensitivity.
The C word.
See, is that a bad word? Yeah, it is.
The C word to some people.
Yes, yeah. Apparently, it's. Well, we're not going to get into politics, but you know where I was about to go with that. Anyway, so sensitivity, the other bad word. A lot of people tend to. I'm sorry. How are you, Marissa?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. It's hot as hell.
Oh,
it was like hot as hell. Like yesterday was really bad.
I don't understand how the heat index is like what 105 or something like that.
Yeah.
Why does it? Why? What happened?
It's global warming.
Yeah.
But you know.
But that doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. So it's not global warming.
Democrats
Fake news.
made that up.
Fake
Democrats
news.
made that up.
Yeah, right.
Fake
They
news.
lying.
Wait, how's your cough?
I have it, man. I don't know what I gotta do something. I gotta get an inhaler back. I started a new job, so I don't have my medical yet. So it's like I got to get me an inhaler.
Or
they're expensive though.
Or a black charcoal air filter.
Where do I put that?
It just goes into your outlet in the wall. It's a small one. It's like a little.
Where do you get that
one.
at Home Depot?
Yeah, or Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the online conversation about, but I digress. This is episode 31.
No.
I meant to say something last week, which was episode 30, but 31's pretty,
30's my favorite number.
Look at what we came for. We made it. Anyway. Sensitivity. Speaking of Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Ever see 31 podcast? Oh, did you see that viral video?
Which one?
Of the guy who ran.
So we're going off topic already. Go ahead.
The guy who ran on stage.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, there's all these memes like protect the queen at all costs.
Speaking of sensitivity, you see the mofo talking about he gonna sue because he got scratches on his face. Bro, you run into a burning building.
You're gonna
get burned. I'm just saying. Sensitive mofo. They all need hugs, in the words of Jay-Z. But he didn't say mofos. He used a different word, another bad word. But anyway, so what are your thoughts on this on sensitivity? Do you think it's a bad word? Do you think it's viewed by many as a bad word?
Well, growing up, the word sensitive carried a negative connotation.
Right.
Only now, today, might catch me on an off day. Only today, right now, do I sit with that's just not a bad word, and I use it in turn to demasculate others.
Why do you think today, as opposed to yesterday?
Because
when you say when did that ship? Like how long ago was it? A few weeks? Was it a few months?
3 hours ago, maybe, probably.
Gosh.
No, it was
real.
No. Once I had kids, and I thought in my mind at one point, I'm like, oh my gosh, this mofo's sensitive. And then I'm like, that's not a bad thing to show your feelings. That's not a bad thing.
I trust somebody that shows their feelings.
Yeah.
Unless they always. Remember that episode of Friends with Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Yes, and he kept crying.
Yes, he guest starred as the Manny.
And the Manny.
Yeah. That was a little bit too much crying. But
it might not be in today. It might not be today, but back in the 90s, that was a little too much.
No, that was too much even then.
How
even
does he
today.
have money right now? What does he do for a living?
We don't know. I mean, maybe he's investing. We don't know what people do with the money they earn.
That's my question.
Oh, I don't know. But how am I supposed to know?
Oh, because you know everything.
I don't know everything. I don't know people's money like that. I know, somebody got a big contract, but then I don't know what they do with it. Like, Odell Beckham just got a $95 million contract to re-sign with the New York Giants.
Oh.
$65 million of it is guaranteed. So when they say guaranteed, that means
that's his
you
salary.
Get injured, you're going to get that much money. And it's big because NFL players usually don't get guaranteed money.
Right.
For example, if it's NBA, they get LeBron got a $150 million contract. The whole thing's guaranteed. If he gets hurt next year,
he's still getting paid.
He's still gonna get.
My gosh.
Yeah. So, but anyway, what was I bringing to see? I'm talking about you, right?
Oh, because I went off on a tangent and asked what Freddie Prinze Jr. does to make money.
We hope that he did his movies and he invested. I'm sure, a lot of these actors too. They do the like little plays and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially in LA, I guess it has a big like a theater community. But anyway, yeah, he played that sensitive character. She don't work either,
homegirl.
Yeah, but they might have money.
No, but that's my question. I know she gets residuals.
We don't know if they don't work
homegirls,
They could be producers.
Well, that was my question.
That's not what you.
How does he make money? I said.
But I don't know.
Well, all right. Anyway, sensitivity.
God.
Why are you being so sensitive?
Let's start this over. I can't.
Why are you so sensitive?
I can't take it.
I remember the first time I called a boy, because I was, I think, 14 at the time. Picture it, 1994, Reed Junior High School. I called a boy sensitive, and he almost picked up the desk and hit me with it.
Sensitive mofo.
Yeah.
Needed a hug.
He definitely needed a hug. But I remember how emasculated he felt, and I was like, that's my word. I don't have to get up in somebody's face. I don't have to be physical. Just tell a guy, why are you so sensitive about it? And they will lose their stuff. But even girls too. Like if a mofo tells me I'm sensitive, like I'm gonna show you sensitive. You know, all of a sudden, no, they're like, okay, psycho.
Yeah, right. It's
what the hell?
But it's like that's why we say it's the other bad word.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to be called sensitive.
Right.
People want to believe that they have a
sensitive thug. Yeah.
They want to know that they have the sensitivity within them in the right moments.
Right.
And like I feel like there was this guy that I used to he's a singer, Ralph Tresvant. He used to be in New Edition, and he had a song called Sensitivity when he left the group. Mm-hmm. And said his song, the hook was like, "You need a man with sensitivity," and I just remember thinking, like, I was younger then, and so when the word sensitivity meant like affectionate,
right?
You know,
oh, yeah,
and then when you get older, you realize it's not about affection,
right?
It's about understanding,
yeah,
and being able to sit back and appreciate the person that is being vulnerable with you, or
right,
you know what I mean, or you yourself being able to be vulnerable and allow others to see a side of you that may not, like if you're an athlete, you know, letting others see a side of you that may not necessarily be masculine, quote unquote, even with women. Like you look at somebody like Serena, and it's like she's this like a man or female, she's like the world. I think she's like
competitor,
one of the greatest athletes of our time.
Yeah.
That we actually are witnessing this.
Yeah. And
she's on the court, she dominates and she's strong. And so when she gets on her social media and she's like sensitive and all quote unquote pink, as she likes to say, or other people say, it's like, okay, that for her that is accepted because she's a girl.
Right.
If somebody else say, what's
the other angry tennis Andrew
Agassi?
Andrew Agassi, right? The one from the 80s. He was always angry.
He was a tail with a
Brooke.
No.
Yeah, he was Brooke, homegirl from the movie. Brooke Burke. No,
that's why I didn't think you were. She made the movie with her father. Her father was the actor.
Oh my gosh, what is it?
Oh, damn it. Paper Moon. She made the movie Paper Moon with her father. She got an Oscar for it. She was the heroin addict. I don't know. What was her name? I know people out there, especially my mother's like screaming at the phone. It's you know, I can't. What the heck is her name? They were married, whatever, for many years.
Tatum O'Neal.
That's what. Who were you thinking of?
Brooke Shields.
Oh, you're thinking Andrew Agassi. I was thinking of the other guy.
Yeah.
Who was Tatum O'Neal married to? Agassi wasn't the angry one. It was the other guy that was the angry one. The one married to Tatum O'Neal. The other tennis player.
John McEnroe.
He's shout out to the U.S. Open currently going on today. Going on through the first week of September. Anyway, but yeah, so when, like you were saying, with John McEnroe, if he starts showing a sensitive side, like, you know, I love my whatever, and I just want to be able to express my feelings, people are like, oh, this bro, he's mofo sensitive. And it's a bad word.
But it shouldn't be a bad word. No. You should be sensitive.
And you can think of that even with, I mean, we're talking about celebrities and athletes and stuff, but if you think about in your own life, you know what I mean? Like, I have a male relative, who is super sensitive. right?
Yeah.
You call him on it though, then you see the sensitive side. He's like, all of a sudden he's like giving you the silent treatment, rolling your eyes, and we're all like laughing, like, who cares you ain't talking to us? You know what I mean? Nobody gives a shit. But all because we call them awful sensitive or you acting sensitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because to a lot of men, it's demasculating them.
Yeah.
With women, I feel like it does the polar opposite. If you call a woman sensitive, then she's like, she gets
can't boss up. She's not allowed to boss up if
Right.
she's going to be sensitive.
Right. She's going to be in a corner crying like she's Susan Lucci or something. You know what I mean?
I love Susan Lucci.
But I'm just saying.
When she won that daytime Emmy
that was the
finally,
greatest.
and
That
she
was
was
the
like, I'm
greatest.
going to go back and play her for all she's worth. Like, bitch, you've been doing that for 30 years.
Oh man, then they canceled the show. But
The
at least she got.
Thank God. Thank God. And it was for what did she play?
Erica Kane.
Erica Kane.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly. But I still see her as Erica Kane.
Yeah.
Even, every role she plays, she was on that show, Desperate. That's not Desperate Housewives. It was like a maid show. Anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever it is.
They were,
she's still
they were
Erica
trying
Kane.
to cater to Hispanic women and
Hispanic telenovelas made in English. But
Right.
it didn't. You know what?
I loved it, but
No, you know what the problem was? They needed a little bit more I want to say cultural sensitivity.
Oh, sensitivity. Look at that. That's another way to use sensitivity.
Yeah.
Speak on it.
Cultural sensitivity. I think they just needed to realize that, they didn't have to be clownish or buffoonish.
But I don't think they were. Did you watch the show?
I did.
Not the whole
thing. Not the whole thing. I think they could have done a little bit better.
Okay. I understand. I mean, it's easy for me. It's like if somebody tells me how somebody that looks like me is supposed to act. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can get all sensitive. Like, what you trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
We supposed to be all snapping our neck back and forth like the angry black woman? You know what? No, I'm not saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Then like, you always hear about people like they talk about like was black people like ghetto it up. The Spanish people give me more inflection in your dictation, your language. Even with Asian people, like how come you
stop telling me how to talk?
Right. And then with Asian people, it's like, no, you're not saying rice right.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So it's like
shout out to Crazy Rich Asians.
You gotta go see. Did you see that?
No, I haven't.
We gotta go
see
that.
Yeah.
When your kids go back to school.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you gotta work during the day. So I'll go see with one of my other friends. Anyway, don't get all sensitive. Start crying and shit. You all right? Watch it on demand when it comes out.
Oh,
but
okay.
But yeah, it's the sensitivity thing. You just touched on it. It can go in all facets. I wasn't even thinking of that.
Yeah.
Like having a sensitivity to other cultures, other people, other whatever the case may be.
Right. Open and understanding.
Right. And a lot of times people just don't do that. They're just like a tunnel vision. They only think and see what matters to them and what they are exposed to in general. It's like funny when you think about people. Like we both watched The Real Housewives of New York, and that show to me is a false depiction of New York.
Oh, extreme.
Because
yeah.
they all like
they're a mess.
But not only are they mess. Like I can get the whole New Yorkers like whenever especially when we go into the city a lot, you always go out to drink. Like every night you go out to drink. Like you get that.
Yeah.
People aren't really like cooking dinner every night. I mean, I'm sure there are, but a lot of people like this pizzeria is downstairs.
Exactly.
The thing that I don't get is that it's the lack of diversity on the show. It's like New York.
New York is.
It's the melting pot.
Yeah, I don't understand how there's no diversity on that show.
On that show,
all places,
and they've had people come
places.
in. They've had people come in and out, like women come in and out of the show, and it's never been the only one that I feel like had some semblance of diversity was Jules. Like she was a Jewish American.
Yeah.
But it was like I don't even know if she was Jewish the whole time. Like she married.
I think she converted, right?
Yeah, she converted for her husband.
But they still, of all of New York, they would have had such an They would still have an amazing run because even now, I'm like, I'll catch a rerun if nothing's on.
Well, I mean, I still watch the show. I mean, I don't know if I'm contributing to the nonsense, but...
Oh, no, I'll stay contributing to the Bravo nonsense, but I'm going to watch it on a rerun because it's one of those things where I need more diversity. I need to see more, I don't really care about Tinsley Mortimer and, what's the... I always equate her to that movie with the guy, the short comedian, where he's really rich and he doesn't know how to do nothing for himself.
I don't know what movie that is.
Oscar.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, it's so good.
I never saw that.
So good.
I think when I look at it, I just say to myself, this show could do so much in terms of being sensitive and being sensitive in terms of highlighting the beauty and the cultural aspect that New York has to offer. New York is so damn diverse, and even when they had remember the couple that lived in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
They had an opportunity to expose
in Brooklyn, and you got an Australian and a white girl, for real?
And on top of that, it's I blame them for gentrification of Brooklyn. But that's another episode.
How does that begin? How does the gentrification process begin?
Because somebody loses their job or doesn't have any money. White people don't have. They get in a situation where now they have to save. Maybe it's something happened in their life. It could be a divorce. It could just be a life experience that happened, and they have to find a place to live. And so they're willing, because they are open to all types of people or whatever. Mm-hmm. They will move into a minority-owned neighborhood, and then their friends come, and then it's or they build. Do you see that one? And this is talking about sensitivity and not being sensitive to your surroundings. There was a woman, I don't remember if it was Brooklyn or Queens. I believe it was Brooklyn. She opened it up. She opened a bar in a Brooklyn neighborhood, and she had these bullet holes in the building, right? And it turned out that she just had them manufactured there as a way to make it seem like
stop.
She's we're part of the neighborhood. Look what's going on, but we're trying to. So it's stuff like that where people don't begin to not trust you, but when people start to move in, mm-hmm. that's when the price starts to go up, changes. And people start moving out, and it has a lot to do with not even having being culturally aware or sensitive to the people in your neighborhood that have been there for decades, moved in. Yeah. Nobody, the forgotten people.
Yeah.
Even from Spanish Harlem, it's happening all over the country, but this is what we're most familiar with is New York. But even there's places on Long Island where
it's starting to change.
Right. All of a sudden it's it was the hood.
And now they got a Starbucks. Starbucks on Main Street.
Right. Out by us on Long Island, if you ever used to drive down to Amityville on 110, it was just straight I don't want to be all crackheads was walking the street, but it definitely was not. You roll up your window. Let's just put it that way. But now they done built a whole new.
They have trailer parks.
Right. And it's not there no more. Now they built. There's no more trailer park thing. They built up a whole condominium development, partially rent, partially owned. There's a Starbucks in there. There's a beautiful 7-Eleven that they built.
Starbucks.
I don't blame Starbucks. They doing their business. They know what they have to do, and there's a lot of businesses that won't go into certain neighborhoods. Starbucks always we go. Who gonna buy from us, boo?
Yeah.
You? Okay.
Who's gonna buy from us, boo?
So we gonna go there. You know what I mean? So I can't blame them. But and I think they've always had Starbucks. To me, even with the situation with. You can blame the whole company for how that woman treated the two guys.
Oh, but at least they're being racially sensitive and aware.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how many companies are going to shut down?
Right.
For sensitivity training.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people clown them. Yeah, but if they hadn't done anything, then you'd have been
right. But they did something.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you just can't. There's a lot of companies that don't do that or just don't care.
I had a conversation with I don't know who the other day, and it wasn't a genuine conversation, but it was somebody made an off comment with it. Whatever. That's girl drama, and I was like, that's so. It's
sexist.
It's not. I didn't even want to say sexist.
Okay.
I said it's demeaning to the feelings and situation to somebody else. Just because it's two women doesn't mean it's girl drama.
Right.
It's there's a genuine issue,
right?
And you're not being sensitive to a genuine issue. You're demeaning everything that they're talking, and they're coming to you for a solution. So you're demeaning everything that they're saying and doing.
I think that's the problem that all Americans have. It's like if you don't relate to that situation, that person, that thing, on any level, then you're going to judge it in whatever facet that may be. And oftentimes that facet comes in the form of sensitivity.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. If you're, if I'm a black woman and I can't relate to, although I can't relate to the white experience,
right.
I've been taught about it my entire life, so I can be sensitive to it.
Right.
But it's not vice versa.
Right.
Because what's taught about Black America is very different than what is taught.
If they would just stop talking about it, it wouldn't exist.
Like I saw an article today where they were talking about, I think it was in Time magazine. It might have been yesterday actually. They were talking about knocking down, or they were I can't remember where it was at. It was in South Carolina, but I don't remember exactly. They were talking about a meeting place where people were lynched, and they had up statues of the lynchers and what happened and all that kind of stuff.
The lynched or the lynchers?
The lynchers, as a commemorative of what happened. And it's like the article said that people are annoyed with this. Like they have all these statues and they say this about history, but they never have statues about the people that were wronged, the people that were lynched.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Why would you make statues about lynchers?
Right. And so if you bring up that you're not for that, like you want the statue to come down, now you're being insensitive to how they feel about their history.
Yeah.
But if you bring it up, then you're playing a race card, or you're playing whatever card it may be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're being sensitive. You can't deal with that. You know what I mean? So it's the whole sensitivity thing can be thrown around no matter who it is. Male, female, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whoever. It can be, dogs. Why are you being so sensitive? You told you not to eat the dog food. You know what I mean? You're not getting to bed. Like, why are you crying about it? You did wrong. And now let's move on. But it can be anything or anyone. And so I think at the end of the day, the only way to cure sensitivity is to be able to recognize somebody else's viewpoint and kind of learn from it, and just not spew out your rhetoric.
I hate when people say, we're talking about spewing out other people's rhetoric. A thing that I'm very sensitive to, is when someone tells a little boy to man up.
So obviously that happened with one of your kids? Because let me just put this out there real quick, and don't get all sensitive on me about it. 10 years ago, you didn't care about somebody telling a kid to man up.
Because I wasn't sensitive to it. I wasn't understanding where that leads to for a child.
Right, and so unless you walk
10 years ago, I didn't like kids.
Right, but until you walk in the shoes of somebody that has kids.
Yeah, I still don't care. I don't like kids.
No, you do care. Don't say that.
No. Meaning like I don't. No, I do care. I care, but it's one of those things that. But I noticed it because I TA up in a school, and it brought me to a situation where one of the older women. There's a sensitive kid. He's having trouble on the playground, and this was last year. He was having trouble on the playground. He prefers to be inside, and he would pretend to trip and say he had to go to the nurse. And one of the ladies whipped around and goes, oh, I wish he would just man up. He's so sensitive. And I'm like.
Did you take that opportunity to say anything? You just was like, she's gonna feel how she feels.
No, I said, well, is there an issue going on? Is there something where he's not getting along with his peers? Is there a sensory issue? Is there an overload issue? Is there something else going on? And they just rolled their eyes and went, no, he's just sensitive. He's such a crybaby. And I said, well, he's crying for some reason. And they just but I'm the new kid on the block, so it's one of those whatever. Shut up, little girl.
People don't care. Unless it touches them.
If it was her, go to the nurse all the time.
But if it was her kid, or somebody she knew personally and knew what was going on in their household.
He didn't have breakfast this morning, so he's a little touchy. No, your kid's a fucking demon. He was breaking a window with a fucking bat.
But why? Exactly.
But why?
Kids don't just go doing shit like that unless it's something going on at home.
Yeah.
You go. I remember when I was young. there was things going on at home, and I would purposefully like walk paths, dark paths at night when my mom was like working late or the time she was going to college. And I remember I would just walk these paths hoping to get caught. Like, who the hell does that? You know? But nobody was trying to like rape me or nothing. Everybody was just like, let her walk.
Trying to get them.
I was trying to get touched or something, you know. But I didn't know what that really entailed.
Oh my.
I know, that's crazy. Whatever, Marissa. I know it sounds crazy, but like if you don't know, like until you everything's all, you know, I want to get raped and shit until you get raped, and then you're like, oh wait, I didn't mean it like that. I just wanted somebody to call the cop and be like, my mom got to pick me up, you know, which ended up happening because I was like, all right, this isn't working, so let me just start stealing candy.
Oh my god!
I got caught stealing batteries, homie.
What were you stealing batteries for?
It wasn't from my hearing aids. I think they were like AA.
Did you have hearing aids at the time?
Yeah, I had hearing aids at the time.
Oh, you know what happened to Marina the other day? We went to this indoor play place, and one of the workers there, she's a young kid, she has the slingbacks on. And she goes up to her, and she's like, you know, my titi wears hearing aids too. And the girl looked at her like she could give a shit what this little girl had to say. Like, I don't give a fuck. So she's like, oh, really? She goes, yeah. And she goes, does yours make a funny sound when you go like this too? And she put her hand like by the ear. And she's like, yeah, it does. And then she kind of like calmed the fuck down a little. Yeah, she calmed the fuck down. And she just kind of like, she made the noise, and she was just like, is it really loud? Do you turn it off? And she was like, and she made an insensitive comment, but she was just trying to make conversation. She goes, you're lucky because when you don't want to hear somebody, you can just turn them off.
Well, she heard that because I said that to her. Yeah. I say that all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, really, that's like saying to somebody who's divorced, like, well, now you get a break from your kids. Like, really?
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm thinking about. I can't. I'm trying to like take my mind away from your last comment.
That was really. I can't believe I just said that. Like, I really, in my mind, it wasn't like I wanted to get raped. I'm not saying that's like the worst thing to say.
No. I know. The thing is, I know what you're trying to say. You were looking for attention.
Yes.
You wanted somebody to call your mom, and your mom to turn around and be like, you know what? I think you need me home right now more than I need X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
That's what you wanted.
Like it was an escape route.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the best way? And it's like, in
your mind, you had a plan. You're like, a dark alley is dangerous. Check. Yes. I'm walking down this one. Check.
Yes.
Okay, this ain't working. Plan B. Let me steal. Let me steal
some batteries.
AA batteries.
And the guy's like waiting for me, and then the cops come and they arrest me. And I go back.
How old were you?
I wasn't that young. I'm not even gonna tell you how old I was, because then you're gonna be like, really, Tamika? Really?
Were you 12? Like 14?
No. I was like 13, 14, around there. I was old enough, but whatever. It was that was during that time. It was probably the most bad time for me, like at home. But like I said, because my mom wasn't home, she was home, but it's like working late, and she worked we lived in the suburbs, and she worked like 45 minutes away in Baltimore. So it was tough. But anyway, I was super sensitive. Marissa, stop! You're making me feel sensitive. Stop laughing.
Sensitive.
But I'm just saying.
The way you I've told you this before. The way you articulate yourself sometimes comes out so comedic. Like your delivery just now was really funny, and I can't. You're like, until you want to get raped until you're raped.
It's true though. It's like you want to get arrested until you're arrested, and then the guy is like driving you back to the house, and he's like, "Where's your mom?" Then he gives me a note and it's like, "Tell your mother to call me." And I'm now in hindsight, if she hadn't called, he wasn't gonna come back to the house looking. No, I don't think he. You never know. I doubt it. But and then I was like, "You gotta call." I remember going in the house like, "You gotta call this number." She's like, "Who is this?" I was like, "I don't know."
I just got dropped off by cop car. I don't know.
But she wasn't home yet, so that's why he said give her the note. Okay. And when she came home, and it was dark as hell, and when she came home, I gave her, and then she called, and she was like, punish me. It was bad. But I don't even remember what my punishment was. I just remember her being angry and sort of feeling good about that. But she's weird.
Oh, because you wanted the attention. Right. You wanted to know that she felt concern for you. You wanted to feel,
But I like the attention, but at the same time, I didn't feel her concern for me. I felt her anger towards me, and I didn't want her to be angry. I
Right.
wanted her to look at like, oh, I need to, like you said earlier,
Right.
like be there more for her.
Yeah.
But in that moment, your kid gets arrested. You're trusting that she's gonna go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's old enough. She's like, you know, get your ass home. You know, and it was crazy. But anyway, I was sensitive about my upbringing and how things were going. But at the end of the day, it's like those kind of feelings and emotions are good, and you gotta kind of share them sometimes.
Yeah.
Because when you open up, other people can maybe share their thoughts or help you make sense of how you're feeling.
Right.
And unless you can, like you were talking about earlier, it's like when you're talking about with the kid and everything like that. 10 years ago, you didn't have that experience, so you couldn't sit back and really relate.
Yeah.
But I think you don't always need to relate to people.
Right.
You know, if you just sit back and listen to somebody tell you something and say, well, that's an experience I'm not used to, but I get it.
You know what's so funny? So my cousin had a friend of his over for his birthday. So he was staying in his sister's house, and he had his friend over. They've been friends for like a long time when he was in college, and he's very like, and he'll come right out and be like, he's tall. He's like, I don't know, 6'1", maybe 6 feet. I don't know. Does construction, is a carpenter. Everything like you would think of like uber masculine, right? But he's a sensitive like extremely sensitive. So he's like, I'm not a front to their masculinity, so it's okay. Like these like concrete layers will like cry to me.
What the hell?
Yeah, because
I can't be around nobody like that. He's too sensitive.
But he's like very like, he's just very open, like everything, like, and he's the type like why would we celebrate a massacre? And you're like, it's Thanksgiving, and you're like, yeah, but it's a massacre. I got to think about somebody else.
Right.
But I'm gonna have dinner with my family, but I'm thinking about others.
Right.
And it's just like he'll tell, I'm not an affront to their masculinity, so they don't have a problem telling me X, Y, and Z how they really feel.
Those are the people that know him, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody else might view the way he comes across as somebody that I can't share with because they have to shrug shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care.
Maybe.
You know, but I get that a lot with me in terms of, like, I always say I don't give a shit. And a lot of shit I don't give a shit, I just sit there and listen. Mm-hmm. Like, there'll be situations where you're like, so what happened? I was like, I don't know. And that pisses you off because you're like, yeah, but I need details.
I do need details.
And I'm just like, I don't care. I really didn't care enough to find out. And you're looking at me like, really, bitch?
I know.
Like, you was there for 50 minutes. You were in proximity, so you can't blame the hearing.
Sometimes I do give you that look, like, and you're like, I didn't care to ask, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And on the inside, I'm like, I can't believe this girl.
Like, really, you had an opportunity to know what was what.
What people's was
but
doing.
If I don't care about it, then I'm not spending the time on it.
Yeah.
But there are things I do spend time on that I care that I don't care about. But for the most part, there's too much shit in this world for me to care about.
Right.
That I'm not going to spend time on shit that I don't care about. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Sorta?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's transition.
Oh!
That's trending. So I want to talk about race in America in 2018.
Because this is America.
This is America. That's such a good song.
That it really is.
It really is a good song.
Even
it's
though
a good
the
song.
video...
You gotta watch it like a multiple amount of times.
To get even half of the...
It's so good.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of things going on in the news and media and stuff like that makes you question where race is going today. Like, do people just not, and we can tie it into sensitivity. It's like some people view it as, if you make a statement, oh, you're being too sensitive about race. Like, you can't even say how you feel.
Right.
And then there are other people that view it like you're insensitive to the issue or how other people or another race.
Right.
You know what I mean? One thing that specifically came up was yesterday with I don't know if the interview was yesterday or the day before, but I think it was yesterday. Because the governor, they had the race. Yesterday was Tuesday. yesterday was Wednesday. So the
day before yesterday.
So Tuesday was the election.
Correct.
And then Wednesday, a lot of the candidates did their interviews. So
correct.
All right, sorry, it's like all blending in. Anyway, so the governor race, with the candidates were announced for Florida, and there were two candidates. So one of them was Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
Can you talk about do you have the information on what he said, like his quote?
I only have a part of his quote.
Okay.
Florida Rep. Ron DeSantis, the GOP nominee for governor, clarified comments he made earlier Wednesday in which he warned voters not to monkey this up by voting for his Democratic opponent, who is black.
So there are a lot of people that are people being sensitive to the fact that he used the term monkey up, or are there people that are being insensitive to the fact that monkey up is a trigger word for black people?
I think, my personal opinion, I don't know DeSantis, but I think that was one of those.
He don't got your vote?
No, he don't got my vote. Do you ever, when someone cleverly uses a phrase,
right?
And if you take it the wrong way, then you're the one, not me.
Right. I wasn't even thinking that way.
I've never heard monkey it up. I've always heard muck up, not monkey up. I've never heard.
Right. I see what you're saying.
I've never heard that. So I feel like he used that phrase in a very sensitive way,
on purpose,
to one of two. Yeah, exactly. So his supporters that would not vote for somebody who's a minority, to really rally them for him, and then
like a trigger word,
and then to drum up more. He needs to be out there a little bit more, and probably funds were low,
right?
And he got what he got a good result according to him.
I just find it hilarious though. It's like we're talking about Florida, like we were talking about earlier, New York being a diverse state in general. Really New York City, but in general, the population of New York is pretty diverse.
Right.
I see Florida as being a lot the same way. Obviously, there's a ton of retirees that have moved down there.
But it's a high minority district.
Like Cubans.
Yeah.
And, I don't even, when I think of Florida, I honestly don't even think about black or white. I think about Hispanic Americans.
Yeah.
And there may be Hispanic Americans that do not relate to the word monkey up.
Mm-hmm.
But you say that on a national television program on CNBC, that's what's going to get retweeted and reposted and so on and so forth.
But at this day and age, everything they drag our former First Lady through, and how many times was she called an ape in heels and a monkey? You don't realize what that trigger word would do.
I know. But it's like, it's one of those things where you just, the people that defend, that there's the two sides of the sensitivity, like we were talking about earlier. The people that see it as the people that are opposed to it, the people that see the people opposed to it, they see them as being sensitive.
Right.
And the people that see the people that agree with it or are not opposed to it, they see them as being insensitive.
Right.
So it's like, is there a right or wrong? Really, it's like that's the great thing about this country. You have the free right to your own opinion.
Right.
But unfortunately, now we know what Bob in Utah is thinking. 10, 15 years ago, we only knew what
Ron DeSantis in Florida is thinking.
Right. Now we know everybody else's opinion and their comments and so on, and it's like, and it starts getting you angry, and you're like, then you start thinking about race in America in 2018, you're like, wait, I've been in my own bubble thinking that, it's kumbaya, Barack, like, this is the country that voted Barack Obama.
I will be the first to tell you, I'm from the Bronx. I grew up in Bronx, Puerto Rico, and Long Island. I'm the first one to tell you I lived in a bubble for the longest part of my life. The longest. There's things that I had no clue. There's words that I never heard. There's, cultural things. I'm sorry, I just spit on you. There's cultural things that I'd never heard before. And once you look at history and then you get woke, it's like, ooh.
Well, people have a voice now. Social media has given people that 20 years ago would have just been spewing their hate or not even their hate, just spewing whatever their opinions about whatever. They had just small little group of people. Now it's like you see people that you're like, how do they have 1 million followers?
Yeah.
Like, they're disgusting.
And that's why, because there's so many
It's
people that
crazy.
think like that. It's crazy because it's like when I lived in my bubble, because I was like my dad and my mom and my brother and my grandma. It was very like that bubble was, I was that sheltered bubble, so to speak. It was, my mom had, you know, her eyes changed color between blue and green, blonde hair, but she was Puerto Rican. And then my dad looked more like me, dark hair, dark eyes, and he's Puerto Rican. And it was never really like, I don't know, I thought everybody ate rice and beans. I just never, like, I grew up in the Bronx. It was like anything you could, like, point on a map and we got somebody in the school that's from there.
Right.
So it just was never, I was highly exposed to so many different things, and I'm like, how does somebody hate another person when, like, I could never understand that. I'm like, that doesn't exist anymore. Not at all. That's like a 1950s issue, but little did I know. People would say things and I had no idea. I just didn't know. I didn't know.
I think there are people that are like that today. They're in their own, you know, you travel other places and you're like, people that have not been exposed to anybody other than people that look like them, and their only exposure is through TV and social media.
People do that to me all the time, because people, like, for some reason, like in my development, when I would get together with some neighbors, for some reason it was like they felt very comfortable to talk about, like, oh, these damn Puerto Ricans, when they moved in, you know, the neighborhood went down, and I'm like,
because they don't know.
But they didn't know. Yeah, they didn't know that I was Puerto Rican. But you know what? I'm glad they said it, because now I know who they are. But it was one of those things like, well, first of all, this family's from India, so I don't know how you got, like, Puerto Rican from India. But whatever the case may be, it was just one of those things like, they just assumed because I didn't fit what their racist mold was. For
you didn't have your door knockers on, red lipstick.
Yeah.
Stereotypical look.
Right.
A Jennifer Lopez look. Like, she's not even, you know, that's the thing about Puerto Ricans. Like, before I even went to Puerto Rico, before I even knew you, I had my own stereotype of what Puerto Ricans look like. I came up in a family that called anybody that was Spanish Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they're from El Salvador.
Yeah,
but they're Puerto Rican, you know what I mean? It's like, they're not. You know? I'm like, okay. And then, you know, then I started meeting Puerto Ricans, and I'm like, realizing,
you have a Puerto Rican brother.
Yeah, my brother's Puerto Rican, his mom's Puerto Rican, or whatever. My half brother. I say half brother because my mom is not Puerto Rican. His mother's Puerto Rican. But anyway, so I had no clue.
I like the way you say Puerto Rican.
I'm sorry.
I like the way you say it. I've heard it as if it were like to sound like a curse word. My aunt's good for that. She's like, Puerto Rican.
Oh, I don't mean to say it with such aggressiveness. But,
no, you didn't. I said my aunt does. One of my aunts. Yeah, she like says it in such a way like it's meant as a curse. I like the way you say it.
Self-hate.
She does have self-hate.
But that's like every race. Every race has self-hate.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, there's black people who's like, I can't stand. Speaking of self-hate, is Michael Jackson. His birthday was yesterday, the 28th, or 29th.
Happy birthday for you.
Is he a symbolism of self-hate? So he supposedly had vitiligo, right? He chose to go light instead of dark.
Right.
Well, everybody, like, it would have been easier for him to go dark because he's known as dark. But the more he got light, it was like, it's self-hate. I don't like black.
Right.
Whether that was true or not.
All the nose jobs and, like, you know,
the white children.
Yeah.
Who supposedly are his. I mean, you claim them, they're yours.
You pay for them, they're yours. Yeah.
Marissa.
What?
You pay for them, really?
Yeah, he's raising them.
You pay for them? I thought you meant like he bought them off of the black market. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? No. I'm like, off of the black market. See, everything negative has got to be black. That ain't even right. I'm just saying. But like, is that when you were saying we both talked with the self-hate.
Yeah.
It's like anything of color. When you think about, so for example, the Dominican Republic and Haiti share an island.
Right.
People look at Haiti as like, in the same damn island.
It's the same
dirt.
But they look at Haiti because they're typically darker skinned.
Right.
Like that's the garbage part of the island.
Right. And then it's like
But Dominicans are all different shades, though.
Right.
So I
Same
don't even
with
know.
Puerto Ricans.
I don't even know. I don't understand how, like that's self-hate. That's colorism.
But that speaks because it confused the hell out of me when I started hanging around, not hanging around. I mean, you're the only Puerto Rican that I hang out with, but being around Puerto Ricans, especially
the way you say that word.
With my dad's family.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bunch of Portos, and it seems to me that there's like. Don't get me. I ain't nothing like the Dominican Republic. Dominicans. It's like, oh, the Dominicans, they're dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's.
I'm generalizing.
But no, but that's exactly it. So like Puerto Ricans and Dominicans don't typically have a good relationship. Costa Ricans and Nicaraguans don't typically have a good relationship. But that's the whole. And this is what's so fantastic about racism and ingrained racism. So long as you can say that you're better than someone else, you're not doing that bad.
Meanwhile, mofos in Spain talking about we the real Spanish.
I hate when Puerto Ricans are like, "Well, I'm from Spain." Bitch, listen, mofo, you ain't from Spain. Spain ain't gonna claim you, okay?
Open your mouth. Let me do a swab. You know. I'm just saying.
Do a swab, mofo.
But it's
23 and me, this bitch.
I need to do it, by the way, too. I'm gonna. We have a show on that. Once I do a show, we talk your results because you did it already. I'm gonna talk my results, and we find out.
I'm more African than you.
No, I doubt that. I got the melatonin. Melanin is popping, yo.
Melanin popping. but here's the thing, though. So this is what's so amazing about like ingrained racism. When you let them think that they're free, let them think that they're better than someone else. And that's where it takes so much bigger than the conversation we're having today. It takes so much longer.
It's all. I think it's more about how people are treated. Mm-hmm. Because people will be like, for example, you think about different Spanish speaking countries,
right?
And it's like, okay, which ones are treated better by the fair skinned race?
Right.
Europeans, Western America,
right?
Western North America,
right.
And you say, okay, well, Americans tend to like go to Mexico, so are they better than people in wherever else? You know what I mean?
Right.
Nicaragua or whatever, Panama,
right?
Wherever the case may be. And it's like, if other people, groups of people are treating those groups of people, if we can stick to just the Dominican Republic and Haiti.
Right.
Because Haitians don't consider themselves Spanish. Like I said, they share the same land. But it's like they get treated so differently by the other world, by outside world, that it's like, of course somebody's going to see them as better. If you think about like children, mm-hmm. 2 kids can be in the same household, and a father or a mother can treat this one better than they treat the other one.
Right.
And then they start to look at what are our differences. Oh, she got blonde hair, or she got curly hair, or he has straight hair.
That happened to my mom. That happened to my mom and her cousin. They were very and I don't know. So they're very close in age. I think they were like I don't think they were a full year apart. Mm-hmm. But my mom happened to look the way she did, and my cousin, she had dark hair, dark eyes, and then her father though was very racist and very sexist. So obviously growing up with somebody like that didn't give you good self image anyway. She happened to be like very, very tall, and he happened to like short, skinny women, mm-hmm. but she happened to be tall and stocky. So I mean,
she lost.
Yeah. She lost. And she just like would always not yell, but in her way, always make mention that people treated my mom nicer because she had, light eyes, light hair. And it's one of those things like, no, it's because she had a better fucking attitude. But be that as it may.
You think to yourself, why did the attitude...
The attitude came about because her father ingrained self-hate into her.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So you can be... 2 people can grow up in the same household, and it's like they're treated so differently.
Right.
It's crazy.
He would always tell my mom she's so pretty, too bad, she should have... she should have had, well, she had multiple husbands, but he would make mention like, it's a good thing that my dad was fair skinned, but would have been nice if we had light eyes, me and my brother meaning. And he would just.
But even that, I think that got passed down to you because you made it a point. Like every guy that you date is like, you gotta have light eyes.
Light eyes.
And then it's like, you look at one of your children that has the light eyes, the fair. Even though you don't intend to, you love all your children equally. But I can see
she just
the joy
so
in your.
Different.
You're like, you love it.
I love that she looks so different than the rest of us. And
right, but the difference to you is the coloring.
Coloring, yeah.
And that is something that can be passed. That's a race thing. That's a cultural, not a cultural thing, but it's like with any race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, you think, like, even in the black community, light eyes, curly, light and curly. It's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I posted a picture of my hair when it was like curly. I got more likes than I did with just like a ponytail.
Your hair looked banging though.
But I'm just saying, it's like,
I know what you mean.
People equate beauty to certain things, and it's like, it's not cool. I always say, if that particular child of yours had a twin that looked same gender,
right,
and had more of your features, I don't, not to say that you would treat that person different, but society would. And that would have a big effect on how they
I feel like her little circle treats her different, because it's like, I feel like she's favored more so than the other ones, and part of me brushes it off because I'll say, just because I don't want to believe that people would do that because of light eyes and light hair.
They do those.
But I don't know. I don't want to believe that, because
you do it.
But no, I don't favor her. I'll make mention, because I want them all. Like, I'll tell my boys that they're handsome. I was like, what's more important? Like, what's more important than being good looking? Kind, smart, kind, and hardworking. And I'm constantly telling my daughter that, because she always hears, "Oh, you're so pretty." And I'm always like, yeah, but you got to be smart, kind, and hardworking. But I noticed that, like, one of her grandmothers favors her, like, constantly wants to be around her. And I noticed, like, one of my aunts was very, like, just really taken. They just take to her, and she has a big personality on top of it. So part of me is like, well, you know, how do you not gravitate towards that big personality? But did that big personality come about because of the favoritism that she got?
I know.
I'm in a paradox.
I think it's also hard for you to be objective, because that's your child.
Yeah.
To be honest, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it has a lot to do with the coloring. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I was friends with you before they were even thought of.
Yeah.
And the guys that you dated, I'm not trying to say you were dating mad guys you were attracted to. Put it that way. It was
all 300 guys that you dated.
You know, it's like, I remember there was this one guy, he's like, oh my God, his eyes are so beautiful.
But he was
like,
a slob, fat, and like a loser.
Yeah, but
like,
he's a piece of shit. Like, but his eyes, it's like, really? Okay. Anyway, before we close this out, I just wanted to also touch on Serena, because that's another thing with it, with the cat suit thing. So what are your thoughts on that whole
cat suit
We'll
gate?
Go into it a little bit with
what's his face?
The French president of the tennis association,
whose name is,
can you even pronounce it? Because I know I can't. I have to leave it to you. Dead silence. Air as Marissa searches something that was supposed to be on her phone. And she continues to browse, hit buttons, and look. Unfortunately, I cannot look because we are recording on my phone. Just a little insight into the background of the show as Marissa continues to search. Have you found it, Marissa?
Yeah, but you know what? If Apple wouldn't slow my stuff down, I would not.
Technology.
I am blaming technology. I feel like they're
you should have took a screenshot.
They're putting me in a loss.
And just kept it in photos. But I digress. What's the guy's name?
Bernard Giudicelli.
Okay.
All right. So Bernard Giudicelli, which is the French Tennis Federation president, banned catsuits. Specifically for Serena Williams.
Because she only one wearing them in 2018, 17, whatever.
But 1985, Wimbledon, tennis star Anne White wore a white catsuit.
Wait, Anne White, a white woman, wore a white catsuit?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the question is, but now I will say this.
She wore, before we get into it, Serena's catsuit was made
inspired from Black Panther.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was inspired by Black Panther, but it was created to help her medically, to stop with blood clots, because she had the medical condition after she had her child. So it was created with certain material by Nike for a medical condition while she was playing, so that it wouldn't flare up while she was playing tennis. It wasn't all just
to come out in
right.
A fucking
It was a functioning catsuit,
right,
that happened to look dope in the midst of the whole Black Panther phenomenon.
But see, I feel like Serena Williams is just, her and her sister are two people, they can't win for losing.
No.
Because here's the thing, they wear what everyone else is wearing, and if they're doing it, they don't give a F. They're doing it. They're hitting these damn balls.
Right.
It's gonna be a win or nothing at all.
Right.
And if the win comes up and you see part of their body, oh my lord! But if you see it from someone else, ooh, we gotta peek.
I think it's more so with Serena because she has more of a voluptuous body. She's got, hips, boobs, a waist, and she's built. She's like that. Like when you think, like, oh my God, that's a woman right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so then it begs the question, because we're talking about race in 2018. Is people do you think that the Tennis Federation in France is being insensitive to the fact that she's a woman, or that she's a black female with traditionally black features? Is it the body, or is it race?
I believe it's race and body. I believe it's just one package. I know France has churned out what they believe is an archetype for beauty, and she is breaking that mold, and it will not be it will not be taken lightly. She's breaking that mold of what is beautiful.
Right.
At first it was she was man, and now it's like she's beautiful.
Right.
All of a sudden she's beautiful, but her body has not changed. To some. But it's more. I feel like she's more accepted, and now you're seeing more of the. She's beautiful now, whereas before it was like she just looks like a man. I can't believe her. I don't want to be caught in an alley with her. So, but I also know that France has churned out what they believe is to be beautiful, and she
does not fit that mold.
She does not fit that mold.
Right.
And if a catsuit is distracting for a medical reason or for whatever, if a catsuit, you're covering most of your body, and if that is distracting to you, I just don't want. The homegirl came out in a tutu the next day. Right. That's not distracting.
Or the next tournament.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, a tutu's not distracting, though.
I know. And I just love, because every time she wins, whenever she wears like a tutu or anything like that,
she jumps around,
and twirls. Like, twirl, bitch. Imagine Moore is somewhere in the room, like, yes, bitch, twirl.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's wish Serena good luck in the U.S. Open. I'm gonna try to get some tickets to go see her.
She gonna win.
Let's hope she
gonna
does
win.
the damn thing. Me personally, I wish good luck in November to the opponent of Ron DeSantis. And I also wish a happy birthday in heaven to the late great Michael Jackson. We do not want your music to beat it, because you were a thriller to us all.
Holy already! That was off to the side. Listen.
I do it, baby. I do it for the gram.
I believe somebody used to be a rapper.
I did. I might have to post that one day, Throwback Thursday, with my music. You never know.
I really think you should.
I gotta find the CD, but anyway, good show.
Got it, but mine is sealed, and I'm not opening it.
Yeah, that's not.
So sorry.
Anyway, good show.
Good show, homie. Good show. Homie, I love you. You're enough.
Am I really?
Mm-hmm.
You're more questioning that. I've been sensitive about that lately. I don't know if I'm enough for mofos.
No, you're more than enough.
I've had some things that certain situations happened last week I didn't discuss with you. I'm not ready to open up to anybody.
Is it with me?
No. It's personal. It's like something happened with me.
Personal.
I haven't discussed with my mom. It's rare that I keep something totally to myself.
Yeah,
but I there's a lot of things that I actually keep to myself. But
no, but this is something that you're sitting with that you're not ready emotionally available to deal with.
Yes.
Oh my word.
So maybe one day a girl will come out of her shell and break through. In the meantime, thanks for joining us on Yep Yeah Yes. Where can they find us, Marissa?
Yep Yeah Yes 18.
And on what platforms?
Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, really? Okay. Holler.
At me, boo.
At me. Thanks for joining us.
Slide into them DMs.
What?